Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. And you know, it wasn't too long ago I done a little experiment. I was in the process of leveling my Kentucky bluegrass. Now, you know, with bluegrass and Bermuda, and I've never personally leveled zoysia, but I would imagine you can probably do it the same way. Those 2 or 3 grasses there, you can actually come in, cut them down real short, apply sand or like a compost sand mixture, and use a leveling type implement and spread that material around, and it will fill in the low spots and give you a more even yard. Fescue is a little bit different animal, okay? It grows in a little bit different fashion. It's more of an upright plant. It's a little bit more bunchy type plant, and it's not really known for being able to level it in that particular fashion. Back here, this right here is a one little plot of the GCI Spreader Elite that I left alone, that we're going to be looking at throughout the season to check on the rhizomatous function of it, to see if it's actually spreading the way it should be. And when I installed the irrigation out here last year, you can see here is what it remains of the irrigation line. And of course that was sunken in and low, and yeah, I seeded it last year. And yes, the turf come in, it did fine, but I had this nice little bump there. So while I was out here leveling the bluegrass, I took the opportunity to cover this entire area in the exact same sand and compost mixture that I used for the bluegrass. And you can see the majority of it done really well. I'm actually really surprised because I had it kind of thick in some areas, and the fescue come up through it pretty good. And it actually done pretty good. I mean, it's not too bad now. In the areas where the turf was thick and already level, and I just drug a little light coat of the compost sand mixture, the fescue's kind of popped back up through that, and it's doing just fine. The only place that I'm really not seeing the results that I thought I wasn't going to see, and again, I kind of already knew what was going to happen here, but I wanted to take the opportunity to make a video just so other folks could see it with their own eyes. But if you'd asked me beforehand, is this going to work? I'd have said, nah, probably not. But you can see I've still got the compost sand mixture right here. It's pretty evident where it's at, and no, the fescue is not popped up through there yet. So the sand leveling did not work, and what I had to do was go back and put grass seed down in the strips, and you can see that strip right here, or that little section that was kind of going down the middle here, it's almost filled in. I've got baby grass coming up everywhere, and so that's how I fixed it. Now when we come over here, you can see on this side over here, it turned out really nice. It wasn't a tremendous amount of compost and sand, just enough to kind of, you know, maybe add a smooth layer to it, for lack of better words. I can't describe it. Yes, this was pretty flat beforehand, but when I'm mowing it now, it actually feels a little bit smoother and a little bit softer. But again, I want you to know that was a very light coating that went on this area right here. And you can see down in there, I've got some little baby fescues coming up, and it won't be long, they'll be tall enough to mow. And once my mower deck catches that and cuts that grass blade, it'll begin to mature and thicken and widen and fill this area in fully. So it didn't work, so how do you fix it? If you have a fescue yard, and again, this primarily applies to fescue, turf type tall fescue, Kentucky 31 fescue, any of your fescue varieties, how would you fix it if you have a bumpy yard or a low spot or a bad spot, or you're filling in irrigation lines or whatever? You have widespread unevenness, bumpiness. I know you don't want to hear this. I know you don't want me to say what I'm going to say, but renovation, meaning smoke it off, have it professionally graded, or you grade it yourself, and get it slicked down and smooth, and then go through the process of growing your seed back in, and then you'll have a smooth yard. Well, what if you have 1 or 2 little spots? Well, you can take a sod cutter, remove the grass from the low areas, put a little dirt in it, put the sod back on it, keep it wet. Of course, there'll be a little bit of playing around with that to get it good and smoothed out. And then of course you can always take some type of a Roundup type product or whatever and spray the area that's low, kill it off, add you some dirt, and then come back and seed or sod over top of it. In this case, there was fescue up under this ditch or down in the bottom of the ditch. I put my sand compost mix right over top of the fescue. Now that grass seed has got a root system on it that I just planted. And that root system's got to go somewhere. So is that turf, that layer of turf up under that compost sand mix going to hinder my new turf growth? It's a great question. I'm going to go with it's probably going to affect it in a negative way. The roots of your turf need to be growing in dirt. They don't need to be growing through a mature, thick, dense plant and then through that root system and then into the dirt. Will that fescue up under that sand compost mix rot? Of course it will. It will rot over time. So what I'm expecting to see here is I'm not expecting this grass that I just planted to really thrive this year, but over time I think that grass that's up under the dirt is going to rot and decay and go away, and when that happens I think that area will really start to match up with the rest of the yard. If it don't, I'll just put some more seed down this fall and be done with it. So hey, as always, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch. I'll check you later.